Is AEW signing too many WWE wrestlers? Yes and no. The good thing about this, I'm sorry, let me first state off that it does have its goods to it and it has its bads to it. It has its pros and its cons. The good part is you get to see your favorite wrestler on a station that you already know that's, noticeable. Something that you like sometimes. Sometimes you may not. You may have not been into AEW. You may have been more of a uh WWE fan. You may be more of a New Japan. It comes with its benefits, especially that they sign. I'm sorry, not they sign. That they do That they do work with other wrestling companies. So yeah, we'll see what he has to say though.
Malachi Black, aka Aleister Black, made his debut in AEW a couple days ago, shocking almost everybody. Nobody expected him to appear on AEW anytime soon because it was assumed that he had a 90-day no-compete clause. However, WWE made a mistake and forgot to update it from 30 to 90 days, which is hilarious in my opinion. That error led to one of the most shocking AEW moments of all time, and I really do appreciate Tony Khan's effort in keeping surprises, unlike WWE. It's understandable that the USA and Fox networks want better ratings, but moments like these don't happen anymore, and it kind of sucks. Anyways, I thought it was really awesome to see Tommy Ed make his AEW debut because everything about it was great. He looked like $1,000,000. Black even made sure to keep kayfabe alive by showing the damage that's been done to his eye. And attacking Cody Rhodes was the right call because I think Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black is a match that we need to see. It's definitely an interesting matchup. Another former WWE wrestler that also made his in-ring debut is Andrade. After leaving WWE, he quickly joined All Elite Wrestling, and 2 days ago, he was in his in-ring debut against Matt Sydal, who is another former WWE talent. As you can see, AEW have been signing many wrestlers that used to work for Vince McMahon, and I think it is perfectly fine. In fact, it is great. However, there are some people on social media that do have a problem with it. They think it's a problem and believe that AEW is signing way too many former WWE wrestlers, and this poll on WrestleMania's Twitter page also...
I can agree, but disagree at the same time. I said there was a pro and a con to it. The good part about it all is that, like I said earlier, you get to see your favorite wrestlers. You get to actively see your favorite wrestlers go ahead and do their thing in just a different company. A company that you know where the station is. If you don't know what station is, go watch it. You go find it real quick, go Google it up, and stuff like that. But there is one minor problem. I'm pretty sure the more that they sign, the more that they'll run out of, stuff. How do I put this? You know how you pre-plan some things to happen in like, let's say if you're making a wrestling show, you probably, if you play WWE 2K, any of them, you probably have a preset. If you're really into universe mode like that, you probably have like a preset thing and everything like that. You probably did it as a kid or now you do it, where you have this whole preset thing, and then anyone else who interferes or like a new signing would be pretty cool and everything, but it shouldn't mess with the current plan that you know should happen. I think that's where this goes. A lot of the ex-WWE wrestlers should go back to WWE, in my personal opinion. The only reason I believe so is because you have to realize how they're regarded. They're regarded coming from a very big company. So that means when they go to any company, they're a bona fide star at that particular moment. Especially if they were a big star in the WWE, or they're even bigger there, because now you expect them to mop the floor with everybody and probably have these go on a rampage. That's what I'm expecting with every character I see that comes from WWE to any other place. I'm expecting them to go on an absolute tear, absolute rampage. But if you have too many of them, then you got to start shipping them off to do other things. meaning that they probably, let's say they wanted more single action. Now they have to be in tag team, or they have to take on wrestlers that have nothing to do with the title. I know that's more of like the wrestlers who are just purely for themselves and not really for the fans and stuff like that. But still, it's like I can see Aleister Black, not Aleister Black anymore. I'm sorry, I'm not forget. What was he called again? What was his name? I'm so sorry. Maverick Black. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry. I forgot his name. But see, look, stuff like this. So imagine like Roman Reigns being left off. If he goes, he immediately wins the AEW championship. Immediately. There is no waiting on that. He immediately wins that. He crushes it. He goes for it immediately.
A large chunk of people also think it's a problem, but I don't get it. I have my criticism about AEW, but this is not one of them. I've never had a problem with this, and I don't get why people care about it too much. So in today's video,
because it feels like Impact in the past. It kind of goes that kind of like old Impact. They may do better than the old Impact did, or no, they do actually pretty good what they're currently doing. It's just that a lot of the stars after a while, or when they first begin, it's like they can have these spectacular debuts. Anyone can have a spectacular debut. Just go to their benefits. Stick to what they're good with. Don't put them in a dumb situation. But that doesn't mean that, like, overall, it just ruins it for the character. If I'm explaining it right. If I'm not explaining it right, I'm explaining it better. And give me a second to think about this real quick. Because I'm trying to say is this. They're good. These wrestlers are good. These three in particular, dope. Why WWE fired these three are just wrong. One could have been Universal Champion. I could see being. One could right now be either Intercontinental or United States Champion to this day. Aleister Black could be Intercontinental Champion at this in particular moment, or challenging for the WWE Championship, or even Universal later down the line. Same with, well, in fact, all three of these I would have loved to see to stay in WWE a lot longer than what they have, because Rusev finally got out of just the crushed character, and he's been having fun, and it was like, it was more for his character. It was just that they weren't giving him anything, even though he had a lot he could have done. Andrade, what was he doing wrong? My man was doing great matches almost every time with Rey Mysterio. He's doing the same. I think, was that his cousin, or his cousin was that his cousin? I remember that one of them are cousins. I can't remember who it was in particular. Either way, though, he was doing some good stuff from WWE. Aleister Black just came back. Had to leave. Stupid. It's just a big shakeup, because it's a big shakeup because you guys have a full roster of wrestlers that are underrated. A lot of them are underrated. A lot of them never got the time to really shine. Some of them are in a semi-sense mega stars by themselves. But that doesn't mean that we want to see every, ex-WWE wrestler to go there. Because I believe a lot of the ex-WWE wrestlers deserve their own little spotlight. I believe some of them should go across the world, go collect titles, or go collect wins on other brands, then come back to WWE or something like that. AEW, that's dope and all, but I just believe that they could do a lot more than just this sometimes.
I'm going to explain why I actually think it's good for AEW to sign forward WWE wrestlers and talents. I even believe they should be signing more of them if they were to get released. Without further ado, let's get right into the video.
I'm just going to give it a second for the PayPal app to load, and as you can see, there it is. Survey J LLC just sent me.
I don't care.
At the end of the day, talent is talent, and you cannot miss out on some good wrestlers because of where they came from. People feel like AEW should grow their own talent that they trained, and while I do agree with that statement, I also don't see a problem with signing wrestlers who are talented and crafted their skills elsewhere. When you look at every AEW talent that's been signed from WWE, it's clear that they all were talented athletes that are some of the best wrestlers in the world. Miro is the complete package who can cut a good promo and put on a good match. FTR is one of the best tag teams in the business right now. I actually wish they were still champions because that's how great they were. Andrade has always been one of my favorite guys in WWE, and I think he could be a huge star. Jon Moxley was the AEW champion for a long period of time because he's an all-time great in my opinion. And I absolutely love Pac. Also, Malachi Black is already more interesting in AEW than he was in WWE. He's going...
Give it some time to simmer before we go that far, buddy. I'm sorry. It's kind of quick to kind of give him the title of he's already better. Like, the father character was really good. The father character, I believe, would have been great. I love the idea of him not really challenging people. He wanted people to challenge him. That was dope and all that. I just think that they once again could have done better with it. This right here, they just went full. They just went fully with it.
We're going to have some of the best storylines with fantastic matches, and I can't wait. These wrestlers I just named are talent that any promotion in the world would sign in a heartbeat, so why would it be a problem if AEW does it? Promotion in the world would sign in a heartbeat, so why would it be a problem if AEW does it? Other than having talent, these wrestlers also come from WWE, which means they have the best experience in the world. WWE is easily the biggest wrestling company in the world right now that has an entire training facility. The wrestlers were able to learn how to work the hard cam, improve their promo ability, and put on the best wrestling in the world. They've also worked with legends in the business like Triple H, The Undertaker, and whoever else is there. Shawn Michaels, there's so many people. I would rather have AEW sign these talented wrestlers who are ready to be on TV rather than some inexperienced young indie wrestler who sometimes looks lost on camera. It also makes the company look a lot more professional because these guys know what they are doing, and I think it is exactly what they need. I think it's important to take a look at the fact that WWE signed way too many people over the last 5 years in general. For some reason, the company went on a signing spree, leading to one of the company's biggest problems, which is having way too many people on the roster.
And that's the same with AEW. That's way too many people to try and give screen time to. Then that means you have to divide them into different brands. They have a lot of brands. They have a lot. They have the Raw brand. They have the SmackDown brand. They have the NXT brand. The 205 Live brand. They even have NXT UK brand. My thing is this. WWE went on a giant spree, and it was dope for a lot of these guys to at least have semi-something. It would have been better if they would have been able to pull the trigger for a lot more to let these stars grow. Because if they would have let these stars grow, just actually put some work behind them instead of just, I don't know what to do with him. He can't contend for the title right now. We'll just have him chase at the 24/7 championship. Yeah. If they would have put some more work behind these guys, if they would have sat there and not just gave up on some mega stars, WWE would have been high to the moon right now. You want to know why? Because we would have had a whole bunch of these good wrestlers. It's stupid. It is. They got some Impact wrestlers, and they showed that they can actually take Impact wrestlers and make them into a star. Look at Karrion Kross, bro. Look at how dominant he is. Look how they do with the other indie wrestlers. And that's the sad thing, is that a lot of these indie wrestlers can only last in NXT because when they go to the main roster, they're going to get pushed down very, very quickly because they can't wrestle like they did in the indies anymore. They can do little minor things from like the indies, but when it comes down to Raw and SmackDown. Once again, it takes away from it. They have to take away from it. They have to take away. They have to strip them of that indie part and make it seem like they were all WWE from the very beginning. The style of wrestling has to be more friendly. They can do some cool little moves every now and then, but it's taken away from most stuff. So if we go to AEW, which is supposed to be a grittier version of WWE on the day-to-day basis, and plus we have like these blood and gut matches and stuff like that, which was actually really good. Yeah, of course. That kind of sits weird with me when they sign a lot of them, because it's like, okay, after a while you're gonna see just a flood of them going there, and then after that flood of them goes there, you say, well, that's a lot more experience, a lot more talent on the screen, but then original plans get shifted because of one person got added to the roster from a giant promotion, meaning you lose time with the people that originally started it all. You have to be smarter. Sorry, we had some family coming over. This clip of it. Let's continue the show.
Because of this, it was inevitable that some of their wrestlers would be released, and
I will state this. Some of them made their mark, but some of them wasn't able to fully propel it. Some of them kind of left their mark in like a certain category. Neville was the reason I started watching NXT. He left his mark on NXT. He left his mark on 205 Live. The thing with Neville is a simple thing. No matter where you put him in, he evolved in the situation. Starting off a little small promotion, bro, he killed it. He killed as NXT champion. Love this man. One of my favorite NXT champions. I know he was in the earlier days of it, but he was still my favorite. I love Finn Balor. I love Kevin Owens. Love Sami Zayn. Hideo Itami. All of these guys. But no. Neville's the best in NXT, bro. Yes, we have more wrestlers there that are really dope to see, but this man was the best. He's the man who laid down the groundwork. And yes, you would say, well, Seth laid it down before him. And I would say Seth Rollins was an NXT champion that long. What was he, a few weeks? Was Neville like a month into his? Wasn't he? So that's what I'm saying.
End up joining other companies. AEW happens to be the biggest promotion outside of WWE in America, and that's why many of them decided to join them. This wouldn't necessarily be an issue if WWE did not hoard so much talent that they weren't going to.
No. This wouldn't have been such a thing if WWE knew what to do with each one. Because AEW is a smaller show, doesn't have multiple different things. The only thing they have is AEW and AEW Black or Dark AEW. That's all they have. It's just those two different things that go on. WWE has Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live, Superstars, Main Event. They have stuff. They are not in a lacking position. They shouldn't be in a lacking position with no wrestler. No wrestler technically should be in a lacking position. They should always be getting semi-push almost every day. You want to know why they should be getting a semi-push pretty much every day? Because there's too many parts into this thing. If you say, well, okay, when they debuted, we debuted them at the wrong time. Okay, fine. What about 2 months later? 3 months later? 4 months later? You've signed them at this point. So now that you didn't sign them, you gotta use them. All I had to do was use them. All I had to do was they have him on a mean streak, have him as the nice guy, have him as the bad guy, whichever one. Have them let their character grow, let them get the wins over the other half that you probably would state as the I've been here type guys, or I'm probably on my way out the door type guys. Like there is too much that WWE could have done. With a lot of these wrestlers, a lot of them are popping up in my head that WWE could have signed everyone and still would have should have made them all into a star. If you didn't think the scripted thing was gonna work, then go unscripted for a little bit. Try unscripted for a few episodes. That's one thing they could have done. Something they didn't do. What? 832-665-373. WWE basically, in the longer stretch of it all, it made the mistake of signing a lot of people and didn't know what to do with half of them. And some of them are able to be a mega star. Some of them are a semi or a mid-card star. Some of them could be contending for the WWE Championship. Could have been doing it in better fashion than they are. That's the problem with it, is that Bobby Lashley, dope. Love it. Love the idea of Bobby Lashley. Would I prefer a even more serious character than when he's currently doing? Yes, I would love Bobby Lashley to be a little more serious. I would love for him to be a little more on the destructive side right now. I would love for him to be the rage monster that he can be, because he's shown he could be walking Armageddon. But no. I can say the same for these two guys in the picture. I would love for these guys to be running it right now. That's the thing with WWE. We don't need every star to be a mega star, but we can at least have people who can be in the main event, who can be in the pre-show, who can be, well, not really the pre-show. I wouldn't prefer a pre-show. Not really. I think that'd be more for like newer wrestlers, if you don't mind me saying. But like, it's too many wrestlers that they've signed that could have done so much more if they would have just if they would have thought about where they came from and let that character maybe stick into the WWE instead of a brand new one. Because a brand new character that's redoing their entire history, when all you have to do for a lot of things is a lot like a lot of video games, bro. Just input, just transfer the settings, everything about it, the design and everything, to the newer part. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. I leg slap. God darn, I can't be signed with WWE anymore. Watch. I'm kidding. No, I'm stop. But no, I'm just saying, they could have done so much. They could have let the wrestlers run wild. Let them really let loose. They could have let them be who they were in the previous promotion, but just in WWE. That's it. And they would have been the same mega star, or the same semi, could be in any position on the card star. Could be the guy that, let's say, Seth Rollins gets injured. Oh, we need someone to replace him. Who could possibly? Ethan Carter III. He could do it. Nope. Dean Ambrose is injured. Ethan Carter III. Ricochet. Somebody else. Not a flimsy replacement that's just to get demolished and that's it. No. Something that could have... We missed out on too many matches with their bad booking, and so a lot of these wrestlers have now moved on. They've turned their roster into a thin mint, basically. Into a thin mint. It is good when it looks like it, but when you actually go to bite in it, sometimes you get a really good taste. Sometimes you just feel like, what the world is this? It's sad and it's stupid, but that's how WWE's acting right now. So, I guess. I mean, of course they're going to take a chance. This is stupid.
Speaking of hoarding talent that they aren't utilizing, that also led to wasting and ruining so many superstars. So many people were on the sidelines doing absolutely nothing, and it was quite sad. It really sucked.
I'm sorry for pausing a lot and just giving my personal opinion here. I apologize. But you have to agree with the fact of the matter is WWE took all of these talented wrestlers. They did something really good with them, and then they somehow, some way, injury or whatever, they were on the sidelines for a while. It was fine. If they were injured, fine. Take your time. Come back stronger. Come back with an even better character. Add something to the character. You know who they did that with? Seth Rollins. You know who they should have did that with? All these other wrestlers. Not just a random comeback fighting and then go right back to their losing ways and then never really mentioned on TV. Take 2, 3, 4, 8 goddamn months off of television. We completely forgot about them. They come back. It's like, oh my gosh. Then they're fired the next day. No, WWE has way too much talent to let it go. That is the biggest mistake as a WWE fan to look at. It sucks so much that they have to go to another company to even be used correctly. And then over there, because now I love AEW. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. Do I have my heart set on AEW like I do WWE? No, because I don't have that rich history with like Eddie Guerrero and Theodore Long. Teddy Long. I said Theodore Long. Teddy Long. The Undertaker, Kane. That's only a few, but hey, you get what I'm saying. Grandmaster Sexay. I loved him. He was just funny. But it's too many. But all because does it not fit the WWE norm? Is that why they get put on the shelf so easily? Why really top level wrestlers that should be standing up against your legends get put on the shelf or get put in these weird predicaments with the 24/7 championship? And it's not even that they make the title great. It was just a meaningless accomplishment. Continue. Second chance.
For the wrestler who loves professional wrestling, because sometimes these people just wanted to get inside the ring and have a match, and unfortunately they had to sit on the sidelines because Vince McMahon didn't have any plans for them. Thankfully, AEW has been able to give these guys a second chance. Brody Lee is the first person that comes to my mind. Lee went on to have the best year of his career in 2020, and it was a special run to see.
R.I.P. Brody Lee. I will say this. I love Brody Lee for one in particular reason. The Harper character I loved it. I loved the character. It was one thing I liked about Harper was he may have not been better than Bray, but at times he had moments where he could have been a solo competitor. He had it as his entire character screamed that I can be better than what I'm doing right now. I felt like him being Intercontinental Champion could have been him being the Intercontinental, not the title itself. I'm sorry. Him being the Intercontinental title holder, he could have been a lot better. I think that if they would have given him a proper way of holding that title, I believe that he may have not been a megastar, but he darn sure would have elevated that title. Let me say this in the best way I possibly can. When he died, he left a legend career. He left a legend career for a very short time. He did what he needed to do, and he literally died at the top, at the peak, which is for a lot of wrestlers, that's probably not what they want, but what he did right there, it wasn't even his fault that he died. It wasn't. But all I'm saying is this man really did what he had to do. He fought his heart out, and rest in peace to Brody Lee. I feel like I'm gonna cry. That's why I'm messing up on my words here. I just like Brody Lee a lot. It sucks that he's gone. It really sucks that he's gone. It really sucks that he's gone. I miss him. I miss the I love Brody Lee. I love the Harper character. I remember them versus the Usos, bro. It sucks. Let's continue.
And I'm glad that he got that. Other than him, even though AEW didn't give Miro a great start, I think that he's been putting on great matches with this new gimmick. Like I said earlier too, Andrade is going to be a huge star for AEW. I can already see it. Christian even decided to join AEW instead of staying with WWE because he felt like he had more to do with the other company. And I think it's so cool to see these guys get their second chance and make the most with it. One of the major reasons why I don't see this as a problem is that every wrestling promotion in the world, in the history of professional business, in the history of professional wrestling, has done this, including WWE themselves. This tweet actually perfectly explains it. There are currently 200 active WWE guys, and 155 of them came from indie wrestling promotions. The great talent like Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Xavier Woods, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and so many more were once a part of other companies like TNA or Ring of Honor.
And you see the problem. You see the problem? You see the problem? A lot of these other companies, a lot of these other people came from Impact. A lot of these other people came from the same promotion, and still WWE did nothing with them. So of course now we're stuck on second chances for them. Now they have to go somewhere else because WWE didn't know what to do with Zack Ryder. Couldn't have him as a good babyface that popped up, that win a few matches. You couldn't have him as the guy that the crowd just loved to see, and him have a losing streak just to make that comeback and win a few matches, and it showing that they're doing something with his character for a potential something. It may not be at the moment, but a potential something later down the line. No. What do? We don't know what to do with you, bro. Put him on the sideline. Make him come back a little bit. You had your fun. All right, bye. Heath Slater, you want to have your fun? Come on back. All right, I'm sorry, bro. You gotta go. I mean, you can make a one-night comeback. Sadly, that was a really good match against Drew, but bye, bro. You had no plans. That doesn't mean that. The creative team, the storyline team, I apologize. If they somehow come across this video, I apologize. You gotta understand. You understand this. This is from a person who likes wrestling. I love me some WWE. I grew up watching WWE. I'm just stating this. Every time you get a new signing, I expect the best from that signing. I'm not expecting that signing to be a star as they debut. If you don't do that, that's fine. I expect them to slowly become a part of the WWE, to a part where you can't see them and you forget that they used to wrestle for another company. That's what I'm expecting to see. That's what I always expect to see from other wrestlers that join the WWE, to forget that they were even in another promotion. But no, WWE messes it up. And because WWE continues to mess up with stars, and then they make it with certain other ones, it just goes a stupid route very quickly. And because of it, we're stuck with stuff like this. They gotta leave, they gotta go to another promotion, they have to look for this, and then they have an overblown roster. Now, they have all this talent on them, and then WWE wonders, or they try to act like that the other company doesn't exist, or they just call them a piss poor company. Cool, that was a cool line. But what happens when that piss poor company keeps up with you? What happens when that piss poor company starts to do better than you? What happens when that piss poor company has its flaws but still somehow starts outranking you? Because eventually you start losing too many stars because of mistreatment or not enough action. When sometimes they don't even need a storyline. Just let them wrestle. They don't need an epic storyline. Just let the guys wrestle sometimes. No storyline going into the pay-per-view. Just it could be a simple where it's a match. Some normal for the WWE would say, no, we need to understand why they're going against each other. And I would say, not every time you need it. Not every time. But sometimes you do. Some cases you don't need it. In particular case, why Dean Ambrose went against Ethan Carter III. It pissed me off because he could have been a massive star. He could have been a WWE champion, bro. But no, they messed him. He could have been right now looking at during Roman being like, I'm sorry to do it right. You know, you can do stuff like that with Roman, but no, god darn it, WWE.
WWE's even been doing it since the 80s and the 90s, pretty much signing everyone that they can. Stone Cold Steve Austin was a part of WCW and ECW before becoming the biggest star for the WWF. The same thing applies to the Big Show, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Mick Foley, and so many more. It is perfectly normal for companies to sign any wrestler from whatever promotion. Any former WWE wrestler that signs a contract with AEW is great for them, because I would never be mad at any talent that signs with any company. It makes no sense. I'm happy for Malachi Black, who joined AEW, and I'm also glad that Zelina Vega came back to WWE and works over there now. Both of them are clearly happy, and they're making money, and that is all that matters. We should just appreciate them and like what they're doing on TV, and that's about it. I think it's also really healthy for business as well. I love the fact that wrestlers now have an alternative, because that will force the company to treat them better. If they aren't properly treated, then they can easily move on to a new company. And other than that, it's also good for business, because now wrestlers will be able to gain experience in either WWE or AEW and then join the other company once they made a name for themselves. I think that's also really cool. I support the idea of AEW signing former WWE.
Before you begin this, I have actually concern for this, actually. I like the idea at times, but I don't like the idea at the same time. It's a mixed bag, because I don't really see too much happening outside of like one of those. Let's say they're known for whatever they are known for WWE, but I feel like a lot of them would be more along the line of like a Bret Hart kind of character, like appears every now and then, and that's pretty much it. I feel like you make a every now and then appearance, or you probably would go and talk to the people backstage, you know? That's what I feel like. Like Braun Strowman in particular, I wouldn't be surprised if AEW signs Braun, because I expect Braun to run past everyone. The whole train gimmick, not go full throttle with it, but let that monster go. I believe if AEW Impact Wrestling get their hands on this man, I'm telling you right now, don't turn him into a Dumbo. Let him be a wrecking machine. Let him be what he was in WWE, but just 1,000 times more brutaler. I promise you, money is going to be on your lap everywhere. But back to what I was saying about like Hall of Famers and stuff like that, I feel like they'll just be known for like, I feel like on one part it's cool for segments, like they get to always be like, talking to the guys backstage. It'd be kind of cool stuff. I think that's kind of cool, but at the same time, the down part is, that they're not wrestling, so it's just like, that's what it kind of feels. It feels like it's a multi-bag thing. It's like, it feels like it's kind of a waste, but at the same time, not too bad. It's not the worst signing that they can get, because they could be signing an absolute noob, someone who don't know how to even use the ropes yet.
Wrestlers, so much so that I think they should continue to do it. I really wish that Buddy Murphy eventually does.
You tripping on the highest level, bro. Buddy Murphy ain't signed with them yet. He's not secretly already signed with them. He's not. Oh no, y'all tripping, bro. I love Buddy Murphy, bro. I love when he was NXT. When he was 205 Live champion, bro. I love when he won the title, bro. I was like, yes, let's fucking go, buddy. Let's go. I love that boy. Y'all WWE tripping not having him on the roster right now. Send that boy back to NXT if you need him. Send that boy to SmackDown. You know what he's going for? The United States. I'm sorry, that's on Raw. Wait, isn't it on Raw? Is it on Raw? Or did they swap it again? They swapped it again, right? I think that. Yeah, they swapped it. So the United States is on Raw, and what's the name is on? I don't know if I got it right now. I don't remember who's even champion at the moment. Yes, it is. It is on SmackDown. Not the United States. The Intercontinental I'm thinking of. The Intercontinental is on what's the name? Bro, he should be going for that title right now. He should be in that bunch of people, or for the United States. Bro could be out here. Y'all tripping.
sign with AEW because he seems like a guy who actually loves wrestling, and I think he would fit in perfectly. I'd even love to see Braun Strowman join AEW as well because I think he could do some interesting things with AEW. Both of these guys are really great and could add a lot of value is the bottom line, and I think they should sign more people. If WWE continues to release talented and experienced stars, then AEW should definitely snatch them, and that is it.
To kind of end off, all I'm stating is once again, I rehash everything I already stated. I'm sorry for breaking the video up into too many pieces like this and pausing and cutting through and all that stuff. Sorry, but look, WWE could have done better with all of these stars. They could have had these stars on a massive level, but they messed it up too many times with these stars, and now they were like, let's jump ship, or they were just like, you're not the only promotion out here now. It makes the other what's the name, bigger. It does, and I will clap for AEW for doing this. Because I do love the wrestlers that they have at the moment. I did want them to be better in WWE, and WWE clearly didn't know what to do with them, so they had to let them go, and I feel bad for it. But other than that, so how to fix Jeff Hardy? Well, I got my next video right after this one. Dun 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 dun.